Right, hello everybody. Welcome. Oh, hang on, I can hear myself talking. Just find out what's going on with my volumes here. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, it's a bit disturbing when you can hear yourself in your own headphones. Right, how's everybody doing? Welcome, we've got Yolandi, Azabeth Sobolo, Zanka, Dragon, and Tracy here. Hello, thanks for joining. Hopefully we can have a really good chat tonight. Let me know how your week has been, and also the usual checks. Just let me know if the music's too loud, if you can hear me, see me, all that stuff, or if you can't, there's a problem, just let me know. Okay, to get started, let's see. I started a new thing yesterday, actually. Luke's here. Hello, Luke's, and as above, so below said, been a long week. Oh, it has been, yeah. Julie's here. Hello, Julie. Everything looks and sounds good. Good stuff. Excellent. Yeah, I started a new thing yesterday, and it involves AI, ChatGPT, actually, and sigil magic. So it's actually something I'm going to be experimenting with. There is the idea, which I completely get and understand, and I'm behind, that if you create a sigil digitally, it first needs to be created organically, because it needs human touch, it needs some soul put into it, type of thing. So you can't just create a sigil digitally and then put it out there. It needs that organic touch to it, which I absolutely get. But I've decided I want to do an experiment, and this is going a little bit further than just creating it digitally by yourself, I suppose. So I'm giving ChatGPT the intent, the rule sentence, and asking it to generate a sigil. And then I am taking all of those. I'm going to create loads and loads and loads, and I'm going to put timeframes on them. They're in folders on my computer, so I can check when that month's up, the effects and everything else. And I'm making a wallpaper on I've got a second screen now, so I've created a wallpaper there, and just keep adding to the wallpaper, so I can keep viewing the sigils and activating them and just reinforcing them. And we'll see, maybe in 6 months' time I can let you know how effective it was. Arena's here. Hello, Arena. And Zanka. Hello, Zanka. Yep, you said hello. Everything is fine. Good stuff. All right, hello chat. Hello to everybody in the chat. Right, yeah, so that's something. Another thing I'm experimenting with. So yeah, just keeps adding more and more to my art, really. So I just want to put this over the top. I can't see myself so much. Working. All right. So, how has everybody been? What are you busy with? What are you reading? What are you up to? I'm reading all the same stuff as last week, actually. I've been editing and proofreading stuff this past week, and I've still got a lot to do. So that's going to be the main thing for December, I think. By the looks of it. Companies are closing down, so web development work is going to be a bit scarce. Companies close down for Christmas all the time, so I might as well just focus on magic stuff. Check who's in the chat. How many are in the chat? Oh, 8. Oh, there we go. Oh, we got 8 so far. That's a good start. If anybody's got any questions, obviously, ask them. Yeah. Alright, Elizabeth Sobolo, working on reading through Demonology Goetia, thinking about trying the system out. Yeah, Colony's system, obviously it's a bit more respectful, and it does work on the idea that the triangle of art is more of the actual triangle of manifestation. You're trying to focus the energy into one spot instead of binding, trapping, and threatening, that type of stuff. So it's a bit better, but I think she actually worked on that with what's his name, Goetia Nick or somebody, whose focus is just the Goetia. So it's a good book. I enjoyed it, and then I'll get a lot of things, regarding the officers and what the demons focuses are and everything else from her book, which I thought was great. Because it fits. Most of it fits more into what they actually do. Luke's 1 year since Lilith chose me. Very lovely visiting me, letting me know that I can always count on her being here for me, but I would love to be talking with her and hear her voice more often. Yeah, it would be nice to have that kind of same type of conversation we have with physical people in our lives, but it's not always. Some people get that, some people don't. I don't. It's a totally different type of communication, but it's still communication. So I have conversations. I think we get so tied up with the way we have conversations and the way we interact with other physical human beings in our lives that we kind of expect that to be the same when it comes to the spirits, but it's not always the same. But we need to broaden that kind of understanding, I think. Andrea's here. Hello, Andrea. I'm just recovering from a hangover. Oh, well, at least I hope you enjoyed yourself before the hangover. I hope you got your... I've got hot chocolate. It's a very good hangover. I don't think of anything else that I've done this past week. Regarding Patreon and stuff, I don't think so. I'll check just now. Luke's, yeah, it's kind of sad. Sometimes I'm connecting once to someone and we talk, or mystic things happened, and in this case, yeah, it's just those things that happen, or the impressions you get, thoughts and images and things like that. You kind of know you've had communication and connection, but it's different to what we're accustomed to. I'm sure I mentioned it last week because I've been busy sorting out stuff with memberships and Patreon. I did create the $3 tier on Patreon, so if anybody does want to move from the YouTube membership to Patreon, if you are on the Egregore project, I would actually suggest it, because then you also get the journal stuff, which is it's really just me talking about what I'm doing. Sometimes I go into more detail, sometimes I don't. It's just a vlog thing. Although I am going to the book that was generated about the techno-mysticism. I'm proofreading that at the moment, about halfway through, so I should be finished in a few days, but then once that's ready, I'm actually going to just upload it to the journal tier. Everybody else above that will get it, obviously, but I'll upload it there, and I'll probably sell it as a paperback and all that stuff on Lulu and whatnot, but it will be uploaded to the journal tier if anybody's on the journal tier on Patreon. Andrea did thankfully. My neighbours were full of mischief and stuff. It's the eggnog that gets you, isn't it? But otherwise, I think that's it on changes and stuff, and I've spoken about them over and over again, so I don't think I need to mention those again. Dragon, Christmas and New Year is almost here. What kind of beneficial magic do you think can be worked now? Well, we've got the full moon. Well, it's today. Full moon is today. So what you might want to do between now and the new moon. When is the next new moon? Let me just check. Excuse me if my screen goes very bright and my face lights up. Between now and the next new moon, which will be in the new year, you might want to just make plans, set your goals and all of that stuff. And then when the new moon comes in January, you can start off the new year and move forward with all of those plans. Where is the moon? Oh, moon calendar. That might be the one place I'm looking for. December 2024. Well, that will give me the information. Oh no, I needed the next new moon. Wait, 4 moons. There we go. Well, that's 2024. This is very confusing. Okay, hold on. Let's just go to Yolandi in the meantime. I've come up with a project idea, but we'll need to see if it will be worthwhile to follow through once I start with it. Yeah, I know what your project idea is. If you need help with it, I mean, I can do a poll and all that stuff. Let's see. Oh, no, wait, the next new moon's December 30th. So that's really setting the pace for the next, for the new year. That's quite cool. I like that. We go and check how many days are in December. I always forget. 30 or 31. Oh, my computer is so slow today. Come on. Move your ass. Today, Sunday. Oh, 31. Okay. Well, a couple of days before the 1st of Jan. So perfect timing, I'd say. Go. Yeah, I would suggest that is set your intentions, map out what you want to do for the new year, and you can do that between now, which is a full moon, and the new moon, which you've got 2 weeks basically, and then on the 30th of December, start to move that forward. And what you can do then is actually do some readings if you want to for the coming year. You can do readings for each month, specific projects you may have put into that plan that you've created, yeah, and then do some magic to get that whole thing going. You know, you can do like it's not just a new moon, it's a new year sort of thing, and therefore you can do some magic to push all those projects forward for the new year, and then each month just come back and just make sure that you know, during the new moon you're doing everything progressively correctly, which is the best way to actually plan it out. Alright, yeah, Yolanda's got her little project. I hope it pans out. I hope you get all the information you need anyway. Andrea will be back in a minute. Okay. Chat is kind of quiet at the moment. Pick up. Let's see, Luke's. I had an idea today to connect with Astaroth and ask her about this thing I told you. Can't remember which thing you told me. Sorry, might have to refresh my memory. Oh, and this was that in the comments, because somebody commented on the Astaroth video, which I haven't gotten to yet. Oh my goodness, it's a little different when you're small. Let's have a look. I just have to wait for my computer, and it's very, very slow. I don't know why. Somebody did comment on the Astaroth video. Have you ever heard he's supposed to be King Jacob or Jacob? I don't even know who King Jacob is supposed to be myself. So, shall we have a look? This is the Covenstead. Bunch of witches getting together and talking about what they want to and trying to figure stuff out. Let me know if that was you, obviously. Picking up images of King Jacob. and Ashton Roland versus King what on earth? Who's King Jacob? Okay, somebody's going to have to tell me who the bloody hell King Jacob is, because it looks like he's an artist, musician, rapper. King Jacob Bible, maybe that's what they're referring to, not the rapper. Jacob, who was born to Isaac and Rebekah, stole the birthright and blessing from his twin brother Esau, and then fled to his uncle's house. He married 2 wives and had 12 sons and a daughter. Jacob wrestled with God and had his name changed to Israel. Okay, alright, so he became Israel. Okay. Yeah, I've never heard this before, but okay. Luke said, like, ask her if I'm doing something wrong or why Lilith won't. Oh, okay, completely different. So, I'm talking about somebody else's comment here. If I remember correctly, you felt you were doing something wrong because you're not hearing from Lilith or getting the conversations from Lilith. It's possible that Lilith just hasn't got anything to talk to you about at the moment, or teach you or anything like that, so other spirits may be put in your way. Just because we're talkative doesn't mean the spirits are always talkative. So, don't take it as anything personal. It might be that there's nothing to talk about at the moment. And time's a lot different with the spirits than it is with us. You have to remember these things. And there's the idea that they don't have ego, so there's no need for them to actually feel like they need to talk to you. These are spirits. They're very, very different to... They're very similar, but also very different to having a human interactions. How we get to know them, how we build relationships and all that, very, very similar to how we would with humans. But at the same time, you have to remember they're not human. So, yeah, there's a lot of reasons why that could happen. And Andrea is back. Hello, Andrea. Luke, yes, I also it would be so great to hear her. Yeah, but I mean, you also remember that you've got lots and lots to learn. So, while you're not in that phase of communication with a particular spirit, then go off and just learn other stuff. Go and talk to other spirits. Don't get too obsessed with a spirit. Let's put it that way. Right. It's very quiet in the chat. I'm trying to think what else I can talk about. Don't know. What I could do... see if there's anything recent in the comments that we can talk about. Oh, this was actually an interesting thing regarding Boon, and Boon brings wealth and things like that. But this idea of if you work with Boon, is it going to be the usual daily grind, putting in the work and going to your job and working on your career and all that stuff, or is it a case of winning the lottery or winning in gambling and things like that? It's actually a very interesting question because when we think about increasing wealth, that's going to be different for everybody else. It's going to be very different for me, who I own my own businesses. than it is for somebody who only works a 9 to 5 job, for instance. But I do find, and I'm not just talking from my own experience, from things I've read, like from Lon Milo Duquette's experience with Invocation of Boon, is that it's very much in regards to extra things come your way. It's like the road gets opened, new opportunities come to you. But maybe like in Lon Milo Duquette's position, for instance, he was really almost at that down and out position, and all of a sudden somebody came along and said they're going to some other place, state or whatever, for a few months, and it's a bit of a beat up car, but it still runs, take the car. And that allowed him to then get to a job interview, which he couldn't get to previously. He got the job because he could get to the job interview, and that snowballed and other things started happening. So these opportunities kind of arise that you wouldn't have thought of. So that was actually quite an interesting question. I like that. Let's go over to chat now. As above, so below, was introduced to Belial during my red meal with Lucifer. Very cool. Oh, good stuff. I actually find that Lucifer and Belial actually work very closely together. I mean, it's not the first time I've actually heard this. I actually had the experience where I was, I can't remember which way around it was. I think I was doing an invocation of Lucifer for somebody, and then Belial came through instead, kind of like stepping into that position type thing. They do tend to work very closely together. Arena, what is a red meal? So a red meal is something that, as above so below, is part of the Temple of the Horned Serpent, and one of the monthly, actually full moon practice that I ask everybody to do is a red meal. The red meal is really an exchange of energy with a spirit. In this case, it's usually in reference to the Witch Mother and the Witch Father, Pan and Hecate, but it can be with whatever spirit you want to have that experience with. I do find that it works better if it's that kind of dynamic, the duality really, of the mother and the father type of aspect, because they come together as lovers into union, and then you take that energy into yourself and you kind of mingle your own energy with that. And it's very much it's wine and bread, or grape and grain, as we might say. So it's putting the power of the god and the goddess into the wine. It's putting the power of the god and goddess into the grain, the bread, and then you say particular prayers. You take a sip of the wine, you then take a piece of the bread and you dip it in the wine, you take that, and then you mix the wine with the bread so it mingles, bringing everything again into union, the grape with the grain and all of this stuff, mixing the water with the earth, all this various symbolism, and then you kind of touch your forehead. Everybody does this differently, obviously. This is the way I do it. Touch your forehead or do a cross or something, and then take that power into yourself. And it really is taking the power in and giving your power to them. So it's an exchange, a mingling, a connection, building or strengthening a bond. That's the red meal. Tracy, that's what I want to ask. Okay, now you all know. Johanna, hi and happy full moon. Hello. Is red meal like deep non? No, red meal's very different. Deep non's more of a cleansing, actually. It can be, though, because what you do is you give your offerings to Hecate during deep non, and usually the blessed dead as well. And with those offerings, you then take the offerings to the crossroads, you give them to Hecate and the blessed dead, and then you walk away. But I'd say that's similar. It is an offering ritual, but the red meal is very different. It is that mingling, for me anyway. It's that mingling of energy between you and the deity, whichever spirits you're working with. Andrea, Johanna, Andrea, Arena, sounds really cool. Thank you for the explanation. It's a pleasure. Johanna, yes, it has felt more of a cleansing. You do, the deep non is kind of like that, but it's the dark moon. It's when it's just before the new moon, when the new phase is starting. So what you want to do is you want to like clear everything, and it's almost like a reset actually. So, blessing the water, dipping the incense into the salt water, and then sprinkling around and doing apple, I usually say apple, cackle diamonds while I'm sprinkling around and get, banish, cleanse on the altar and everything, and cleanse yourself as well. So yeah, it is a very, very cleansing ritual. I was born in the dark moon. Good stuff. So I find the dark moon to be a very creative phase. It's very short, but it's kind of that. It's the darkness. It's the same. I find it to be the same type of energy, maybe a little bit more muted, I suppose, but the same type of thing as like going into the void type of relationship where you're going into this space of all possibility. That darkness, that blankness, and from a blank slate, there's just hundreds and thousands of possibilities that could arise. So it's very creative, I find. So it feels very much a poem for me. I'm sure it would be, yeah. And it's actually very interesting, coming back to the new moon, we were talking about this on Friday. The lunar return that happens each month, if you time that with where the moon was in your natal chart when you were born, that's kind of your personal new moon. And I didn't know this before, so next year I've mapped out all my lunar returns for the year, and I'm going to just keep records and see what happens, and see how effective it is. Because I do like working with moon phases, so that should be fun. Luke, let's say that after this life I will join Lilith in her kingdom. Do you think that I will stay there, like no more reincarnations, etc., like final choice being with her? I have absolutely no idea. Nobody else can answer that for you. Sorry, I don't know. And this is going to be very, very specific to worldview. And I've spoken about this before. If you, I did an interview with Motor Wake a while back. Actually, it was probably over a year ago now. So go back. You can use the search thing on my channel to just search for Motor or Motor Wake, and you can go read her book as well. We spoke about in there. But her worldview is very much you sell your soul, or make a pact. Or make an oath with a specific spirit, and that's not just like, we have this idea that we make a pact or sell your soul to a spirit, and it's for a specific aim or goal or purpose, and then the contract's finished. This is lifetime, so not just one lifetime, not just this lifetime. You bind yourself to that spirit, and you then die, and you are bound to that spirit for multiple lifetimes. That's not my worldview at all. But it's hers, and I completely respect that, and it may be yours as well. But yeah, because it's such a different worldview, I absolutely cannot answer that question for you, and nobody can answer that question for you. It's going to be worldview based, and between you and the spirits, really. The only people who can actually talk about it. The Fat Muppets say hello. People say the love spells don't work, but they do work. Are people hiding things in the info they spread? They do work. All magic works, can work. There's no guarantees, obviously, but all magic works. But the reason why a lot of people say love spells don't work, targeted love spells, it's usually aimed at targeted love spells. But a lot of Southern Conjure people who do they just generally do love spells anyway, regardless. But the reason why a lot of people will say that they don't work, or not that they don't work, but don't do them. That's what I usually say, is just don't do a targeted love spell. And I will not do a targeted love spell for somebody else. And the reason for that is that you, first of all, are messing with somebody else's life. and their will. Um, you know, I've had situations where people have come to me and say they want to break up a couple, and because they want to be with that person, and I kind of do some divination and find out that this couple is perfectly happy, and breaking them up would be a tragedy. And this is the reason why I won't do love spells for people, because people are just selfish. But the main reason why I won't do love spells or suggest not to do love spells is because what happens is you have this person that you are targeting, and you do a love spell on them, and all of a sudden they kind of pay more attention to you. And then they'll come along and they'll ask you to go out for coffee, go on a date, whatever it is, and you'll be like really happy. Now all of a sudden they're paying attention to you, and then they start to fall in love. They get more feelings. They fall in love with you. But it wasn't them that fell in love with you. It was the spell that forced them to do that. So, you know, um, you don't really know if they actually do love you. All right, but it doesn't stop there. You know, you're kind of happy now because they fell in love with you. You're having this nice life, this nice relationship, but it doesn't stop there. Don't think that it stops there just because you want it to. So what happens is then they may get, you may need to go on a out for like a business dinner or end of year party. It's end of year at the moment, so maybe you go out for an end of year party with the company you work for, and you get home a little bit late, and all of a sudden they want to know where you were, why you were out so late, and you know, all of this stuff. And it's okay, you know, get past that. But then it doesn't stop there either, and then they start putting tracking apps on your phone. They want to know every single person you speak to. And it gets to the point where it gets so obsessive and then possessive that they become a literal physical danger to your life. And the only way to stop this is to break the love spell. And therefore everything just reverses, if you can break the love spell. Because by that point it's become so strong that it's very difficult to do that. This is why I don't do targeted love spells for people. Really as simple as that. So I did see you say just now, if you have just a little chemistry with them, then it will work. If you have a little chemistry with them, why do you want to do a love spell? That's my question. Then, you know, let nature take its course. That's my view on it anyway. Johanna, as I said below, how did you find out your new moons in your natal process? Okay, go to I'm not an astrologer, I'm going to just say that before anything else. I am not an astrologer. Go to astroseek.com. It's astro-seek.com. Just create an account there so you can put your own personal information in. Then go to you'll then have a natal chart. Then if you go into free horoscopes, it says transit chart calculator. I hope I'm doing this right. If I'm not, I'm going to get slapped on the head. Go to the transit chart, and then what happens is you've got the transits on the outside. Then you've got, let's go to mine. I'll just log in and stuff, so I know what I'm actually looking at. But so on the inside circle, basically you're going to have your natal chart, and that, if you have a look where the moon is, you'll see it's in whatever sign, at whatever degree. And there's also a little chart on table on the side that tells you what sign and degree it's in. And then all you do is you just check when the moon on the outer ring is coming back round again, and each, you can sort of make you can change the date, weekly, daily, or whatever, and there's a little button on the right. Just make sure I'm not talking shit. Okay. I am doing my transit chart for today. Yeah, so you've got the outer ring, which is the planets at the moment. That's today. Then you've got the second ring in is the zodiac, and then you've got a third ring in which is your chart, your natal chart. Okay, so you check where the moon is. Oops. Check where the moon is on your natal chart, and then you see when the moon comes round again on the outer ring, and that's, you can sort of figure out what day it was. The day is coming up anyway. All right, it's very bright to do that. Okay. Dragon. Do deals with the devil, sell your soul, exist, and what would the entities want with your soul? They do. I think it's the language people are using, though. It's not really, sell your soul and therefore it's not your own anymore type thing. It's making a bargain, a pact, an oath to the spirits, a spirit, a god or a goddess, and in exchange, usually, it's going to depend on culture and tradition as well. But usually you get something in exchange, and quite often it's a familiar. They'll give you a familiar which helps you with the magic, teaches you things, all this stuff, and you just make a pact. And that pact with the god or goddess, for that deal or oath, usually involves something that you do for them on a particular regular basis, and it might be once a year. You'll go to a particular place and you'll do a particular ritual to them and for them, and that's kind of like what we're getting at there. But when we talk about selling your soul to the devil, that sort of terminology, it's got that Hollywood idea of you sell your soul, therefore it's no longer yours. It's given to the devil or the spirit. And then you have this idea of 10 years from now, how it's going to affect you. They're all very Hollywood based. There is some basis in history to it, but Hollywood just kind of ran with it and made it this huge big thing and totally twisted that out of proportion. Lutz, I see, thank you. I really hope, Rich, meet all the spirits and being together with my lovely succubus. Johanna, oh no, targeted love spells are bad news. Yeah, if you get, I will do a love spell which is general, just to kind of meet your soulmate, which is very much kind of like lighting you up like a beacon, and then they light up like a beacon, and then you're sort of drawn to each other, and that it works. But again, it's very difficult because what often happens is the person I do it for is then kind of looking at every single little thing that happens in their life and thinking, this is a sign, this is a sign, this is a sign, this is the person. And then what happens usually is they kind of get together with one person and they're convinced it's that person because all the signs were there. And then the person, the actual true love connection comes along and just passes them by because they're not looking anymore. So it's a bit of a balls up at the end of the day, but I know it works. But anyway, Fat Muppet, because nature and people are unpredictable and they don't know yourself, doesn't seem to matter. The circumstances that people meet are so random anyway. Yeah, but that's what I like about life, the randomness. And it's why I wouldn't, even for myself, I wouldn't do that kind of magic for myself because I like the randomness. I like battles. I like, sometimes it just gets to a point where I just can't handle it anymore. Then I'll do magic. And things like finances, I want to keep it flowing and things like that. But with love and that, I don't want to do magic for that because it takes all the excitement out of life. And it's, and literally, if you are causing someone to change their emotions and feelings for you, forcing them to feel something they don't feel for you, you'll never ever know if they really love you or not. And I think that kind of takes so much away from the experience. As I said, that's just me. Tracy, I did one to make my husband look into his heart and see what his feelings for me really were. That's okay, because then you are trying to get him to experience what he is actually feeling. And if he, I don't know what you would have done if he had said, he doesn't love you or anything like that. but at least he's expressing himself, finding his own feelings and things like that. Andrea, they end very badly. I know from bitter personal experience. Yeah, they can do. I've just seen and heard so many stories of how people get obsessed and possessed. They get very, very possessive, and it actually becomes a literal physical danger to them. Tracy was facing a lot of teasing because the people where we both worked were sticking their noses in our business. Then in that case, what I would have done is actually done a spell to just burn their noses. People should stay out of other people's business. DK, hello DK, how are you? Yeah, I'm going to get to that just now. Hope you're well, thanks for joining. Tracy, I cast a spell that he would look and see his feelings, not mine, not theirs. Yep, absolutely, love that. DK, yeah, selling a soul is not possible. Yeah, it's not. I guess, you know, as I said, it depends on how we actually interpret it. I think it's not giving your soul away; it's binding your soul, really, binding your soul through an oath, which is a very serious thing. But it doesn't mean you like now you don't own your soul anymore. It's a bit ridiculous. Tracy and I was prepared to let go, lose, and go my way if necessary. Good stuff. Thanks, sir. Thanks, a big person. Fat Muppet. People usually choose random anyway, so I don't think most people have free will when it comes to meeting someone. It's like convenience and circumstances that make people choose partner and not love. There's a lot of things to consider in that, really. You know, we can have a look at the idea of fate versus free will. How much is fated and how much isn't fated. If it is all fated, if it's not fated at all of those things. And in that case, you know, I think the right people will come into your life when they need to come into your life. So I don't think it's as random as that, personally. I think there are some very specific things that happen and we get led in particular directions. We meet particular people, and there's all reasons for all of that. I do think some people may settle for a relationship that, you know, kind of does tend to sometimes remove them from that I am still looking thing, and then the right person kind of passes them by. But then, you know, it's a part of. It's just a big design that is very difficult to unravel and read sometimes. I don't know. Difficult one. Tracy, I've put in my effort and yes, it worked. Good. As long as you're both happy, that's the main thing. Zanka, how to determine the best way to work on a given problem with a sigil, servitude, demon, etc. Divination. Absolutely. Every time. This is why, you know, I think there's a lot of people who say in order to be a witch you have to read tarot cards, but it's not really the case. It's find a divination method that works for you, and mine is pendulum. I like pendulum. I do go and speak to the spirits directly as well, because it's a skill that I've built, a skill that I've worked at for over years. But even then, I may come back after I've spoken to the demons. I'll probably come back and get the pendulum and double check the answers that I've got, because I need to make sure that the answers I have are the correct answers. So divination is always the thing to go to, and find at least two methods that work for you, because you probably want to have a backup method. Sometimes I'll pick up the pendulum, and I'll ask it to give a yes, I'll ask it to give a no, and then I will say I want to ask about X, Y, and Z. Am I allowed to do that right now? And sometimes I'll get no. You're not allowed to ask that now. Okay, then I have to wait for tomorrow. But if I need an answer quickly, some kind of answer, you know, you kind of want the answer. But you might get answers from one method, and you need to go and double check it with another method. So that's why I try and have two methods, and you've got to keep working at it. It's like exercising a muscle. So if you are wanting to work on a particular situation, then get your divination out. Start asking pendulum. Start asking, should I create a sigil? Should I create a servitor? Should I work with a demon? Find out which is the yes. You might get multiple yeses and multiple no's, but then start asking more defined questions to whittle down to an actual, solid answer that you can actually use. And the reason why you might get multiple yeses is because you can use multiple techniques. One may work better than the other, even though you can use all of them. Or it may be a combination of different techniques. Creating a sigil and a servitor, or creating a sigil which is specific, related to a specific task, which is related to a specific spirit. So you're working with sigil and spirit at the same time. So you're going to have to keep at the question and answering to get to that answer that you need with divination. Yeah. As well, so below, just try not to do any magic on others unless they know about it, or it's a full and justified thing. It's not just worth the waste of energy. Oh, absolutely. If somebody I know in their life's being threatened, I'll definitely do magic. But otherwise, I'd rather just leave people alone. Just leave them to their own devices, type of thing. Candy, I refuse to do targeted love spells. I only did a spell when I was ready for a relationship. The universe did the rest, and I'm very happy with the outcome. I'm very happy about it. Good stuff. Tracy, I wanted nothing that was not freely and willingly given. Absolutely. That's what I'm getting at. Just don't find it useful to force somebody into something they didn't want in the first place. Dragon, can oaths be broken without consequences or called off? That is a very, very difficult topic. I'm going to say no. There may be some circumstances that you can get around them, but it's very difficult. So if you are going to make an oath, make sure you can follow through, because if you can't follow through, you could end up being, excuse my French, fucked, completely and utterly fucked. And this is why, we talk about pacts, and people just willy-nilly create pacts or buy pacts online and create these pacts with spirits. A pact is an oath, it's a bond, it's a binding contract. And people just go, oh, well, if it doesn't work out, who cares? If that's your attitude, you're not making an oath or a pact in the first place, because the spirit's standing there going, no thank you, I don't want to even look at you. So usually in that case, you're probably picking up an astral parasite, an imposter spirit that goes, yeah, let's do it, baby. Food time. But yeah, no, if you're going to make an oath with a spirit, a pact with a spirit, that's binding contract, and that's something you cannot get out of. I made an oath about 4 or 5 years ago. It's taken me 4 or 5 years ago to achieve my part of it, and it was only supposed to be a couple months. But I baffled, but I was not released from that oath. So it's taken me a long time to get to the point where I have accomplished my side of that pact, that oath. But just because I couldn't doesn't mean I was released from it. It's been a bumpy road. So yeah, make sure you've got your rocks together. Tracy, what can I say? You do indeed. I think that all your answers were great there, 11. DK, I'm not saying the Grimorian Verum style packs are not possible. They actually work great, but they don't have anything to do with soul summoning. You're also right, soul binding is a better term. Yeah, we all use various terminologies, and we kind of know what we mean, but sometimes other people, when we're having a conversation, have a completely different interpretation of what that is. So that's why I don't usually like to use this term soul selling or selling your soul to the devil. But when I'm in a particular company and if somebody said that, I know what they're talking about, because I know how they work and things like that. So it's all about getting to know each other's language, how we use language at the end of the day. Fat Muppet, good answer, sure. Oh, good stuff, alright. Julie, consent is king. Yeah, well, depends what the working is, really. Sometimes some people just need to be knocked on their arse and taught a very valuable lesson. DK Pendulum is amazing. JSK has a great booklet on speaking with spirits with the pendulum. Is that Jake Stratton Kent? What's the title? Because I do love his work and I can't think of the one you're referring to, especially in regards to pendulum. Yeah, please just put that in there. I love Jake Stratton Kent's work. He is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Arena, I love the pendulum too. Fast, easy, and efficient. It depends on the question you're trying to get to. Because it's just, if I usually just do a yes/no pendulum scrying, and sometimes it can take forever. My arm gets so tired that it's just swinging around wildly. Dragon, is there a specific entity or subconscious mind for divination, or just ask a question and see what you get? This kind of depends on the person and I suppose the method as well. When we're talking about divination methods, in my interpretation is that we contact or ask our lower self, our nefesh, because it has access to all knowledge, past, present, future. So that's what I think happens. But other people may refer to their higher self. They may refer to just their own, their own consciousness. Other people may, like DK was just explaining now that using pendulum to speak with a spirit. So therefore you're contacting the spirit and you're asking the spirit to move the pendulum for you. In that case, that's very much partial possession at the end of the day, because when you're using a pendulum, it's micro movements that go through the nerves in your hand and your fingers, and they're micro movements you actually can't create. It's just obvious, when you shake your hand or do this or something. So these micro movements go through your hand, and quite often that's because your arm's getting slightly tired, and these micro movements become a little bit more enhanced, which means the swinging gets a bit more. But if you are trying to communicate with the spirit with a pendulum, I would say anyway that you're asking the spirit to take partial possession of your nervous system in order to create these micro movements with your fingers. So that would be a little bit of a different take on that as well. But yeah. So I just want to skip down a bit to DK. It's called Goetic Divination. I think it's very short and cheap. Is it on what's the can't remember the name, something press, that there's a lot of, Jake Stratton Kent died a while back, so it can't be new work, but these guys seem to be republishing new material, and they're doing like pamphlets, pamphlet sized books. It's lovely because they're like £1.50. I love them. Let me just write that down just in case. Go find it. Oops, sorry, my camera's going to wobble because I'm shaping the desk now with lighting styles. Right. Wait, okay. Alright, let me go back up. Andrea, self-love spells are good. Oh yes, absolutely. We should all be doing self-love spells all the time. I don't think we love ourselves enough. The Fat Muppet, did you ever drop acid in the woods while pretending to be a gnome and picking mushrooms? No, I did drop acid at a nightclub and then had a joint and couldn't move for like 2 or 3 hours. Luckily I had a ex-cop friend for those 2 hours and protected me because I was just seeing. Oh, I can't even describe what I was seeing. Yeah, but not in the forest. What song is this? Where are we? Right now, lights out. While I'm talking, it's by Three Teeth, and I'm assuming it's called Horror. It's spelled H-O-9909, but Three Teeth, probably. Tracy, good point. Thank you, Tracy. What song is this? Yeah. Okay, it's called Poetic Divination. Let me actually find out who they are. Hadian. Oh, there you go. Hadian Press. That's the one. Cool. If you want to just. Sorry, I'm going to go there now because if I forget because I'm getting old, all of that stuff. They have some incredible. If anybody wants to, everybody should go to Hadian Press and just check it out. They have some incredible books, some incredible authors, and as I said, they're doing these. We have moved over to there. They're doing these pamphlet size, and they're like about 30, 40, 50 pages long. So that, I mean, it's not like a really tiny short book, but they're like £1.50. They're absolutely amazing. Have a look. Double check the title as well. Yeah, Poetic Divination. Yeah, that's what you said. Oh, £2 now. Well, that's still okay. To just put that in my shortcuts so I can go buy it during the week. So if anything will work, I don't have. That's not supposed to work. It wasn't supposed to be there. Okay. Thank you for that, by the way. Very excited to read that. Right. What else is going on? We got all chatty, now we're stopped. Oh, here we go. A guy from Hadian Press has helped take over the FB group that Jake Strachan used to moderate the Rock and Deal. And yeah, I actually stopped using FB completely. If anybody's trying to get hold of me on FB, you're not going to find me there. Have you heard of Archangel Lumiel? I've heard of Lumiel, but I haven't worked with Lumiel. I don't really work with angels. The only archangels I really work with are the 4 elemental Watchtower angels. Let's just check who Lumiel is. Is Lumiel even a proper archangel, or is it just a creation? Because I can't. Just finding gaming stuff. And Apple Music. Let's try and do the following. So be with me guys just now. Doing some investigation. That one, I don't really trust that website. Angel of Light on the Earth. Yeah. You know, I know nobody really trusts Wikipedia, but if there isn't a Wikipedia entry, then I kind of start to question whether it's where its origins were. Right. I don't even know this website, so I don't even know if I trust it. Is there some kind of origin? anything substantial. I'd have to go check other sources, I think, because this one's a bit of a mystery, to tell you the truth. Right. Related to Adonis, Pan, Krishna, Lucifer. I suppose the name itself, Lumiel, kind of gives it that light bringer aspect. Yeah, I'll have to go look for that one actually. Now I'm curious. But we'll do that another time. Do a deep dive. Tracy, Hambley, could you post a playlist one day? Your music choice rocks. Oh, yeah, I can do that now. I'll just share. It's Spotify. I'll just share. It's a daily mix though. You know the daily mixes that Spotify creates for you, so I'm not sure how that will transfer. Let's send it anyway. Share, copy link. Here you go. Give that a try. See what happens. Oh, I've lost my place. Arena. DK, thank you for the recommendation. I'll want to read it too. Yeah. Anything straight, Jake Stratton Kent. Just read it. Dragon, I believe, what is your definition of angel? A huge, massive force. Think of wind, think of hurricane, think of earthquake. You know, these are the angels. When we talk about the archangels, specifically like Raphael, Michael, Gabriel, and Uriel, those are more the elemental forces, the watchtowers, and we can relate that to the kings that we work with in demonology. We can relate that to Peralda, Jin, Nixago, the kings. We can relate that to the watchtowers. We can relate it to any kind of, you know, those 4 watchtower positions that relate to the actual elements themselves. I think they are the same. I don't think they're the same entity, but they're the same body. It's just that different traditions relate to. So it calls them archangels. One calls them demon kings. One calls them elemental kings. Then there's watchtowers, all of this stuff. But I think it's the same energy that stands there. But it's when you then call the actual entity, like call Leviathan as the elemental king of water, but then you call Leviathan in as the spirit of Leviathan, depending on what mask you're actually interacting with. It's a very different entity. It's all different masks, faces, you know, all that type of interactions. But yeah, when it comes to angels, they're like kind of big forces that kind of govern the universe and the world and everything else. Kerry's here. Hello, Kerry. DK, I actually used the pendulum method from Goetic divination along with the Skirlin sigil from Peterson's second edition of the Grimorium Verum. It has helped me a lot. Good stuff. Yeah, I actually created my own Skirlin sigil because the original sigil is missing. Nobody knows what it is, but why not? I think that's what Joseph Peterson had in mind as well. We can't get the original sigil, then just create our own. It connects with the spirit anyway. Right, Tracy, thank you. It's a pleasure. I'm not sure what saying thank you for, but anyway, it's okay. Oh, the playlist. Okay, good stuff. There we go. Kerry Lee, they extubated my son yesterday. He's talking today. Hail President Marmas. Oh, good stuff. Glad things are actually getting better. My perch. Have you tried consuming fly agaric? Is it quite wonderful? I haven't. If I'm going to do something like that, it would be under instructions of somebody who knows what the hell they're doing as well. But also, just I believe you can get it in South Africa. It grows naturally somewhere. I've seen somebody mentioned taking pictures of it on a South African mushroom group, but I don't do the psychotropics, hallucinogenics, not at the moment. I may experiment with them in the future again, but that was years ago. That was when I was a young, dumb, and stupid, or young, or whatever the term is. I have experimented with weed on a sort of a psychic, magical basis. Doesn't work for me, not a good idea, because my mind just gets too scattered. I can't actually focus on one particular thread of thought. So yeah, that's useless for me, really. But yeah, no, Fire Garrick. If you are going to Fire Garrick, was it? I'm pretty sure it's Fire Garrick. I'm thinking of Red Cap. I got the name wrong. I can't remember. But as far as I understand, that's actually the reindeer eat it, and then you're actually supposed to drink the reindeer's urine because it gets filtered if you eat the flying garrick just straight off the ground. It's quite dangerous because our human bodies don't process it properly. So the reindeer eat it. I think this might also be where the idea of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer comes from, isn't it? Might be another story. I can't remember. I'm just things are coming to my mind. Tracy Kerry, if you and him, thanks Tracy. DK. No, he actually found the Welcome Library website too. Oh, okay. Because as far as I remember, is this the new edition? I haven't read the new edition, I must say, so I'm gonna have to go get hold of that. Oh, so many books to read. Because yeah, up until now, then nobody's found a manuscript which actually has that in, or has the actual original sigil. Rainwater, hello Rainwater. You're gonna get me with those emojis. I'm terrible at reading emojis, by the way. DK is called L'Art Magique. The manuscript is online free, but it's in Old French, I believe. I'll have to have a look at that. Right. Write my notes again. I'm assuming he published in the second edition of his Grimorian Verum book, right? I've been told I need to go read the second edition. Oh, I haven't got into it. Let's make me forget to drink my hot chocolate. I can send you a link. Yeah, please do. You won't be able to send it here though. If you can, I don't know if you got. Send it my email. If you need my email, just let me know. Second edition is translated. Okay. Yeah, please do. I'd be very interested. I do enjoy it. I don't actually work with the spirits of apart from Thornek, I don't really work with the spirits of the Galatia, of the Grimorian Verum. But it is, apart from the Ars Goetia Galatia, it is the one, the other one that I really, really do like. Nick Smith Chandler, hello, how are you doing? Thanks for joining. Lee, what are your views on working with the four kings to be able to facilitate stronger magic with the spheres above? We're actually just talking about the watchtowers and the elemental kings. I'm assuming you're talking about the elemental kings themselves. I think what you're going to find, if you're talking about spheres as in the Tree of Life, you're going to be, when you're working with the elemental kings, you're actually working with the spheres at the bottom. Yesod, Netzach, Pod, and Tiferet. Those are related to the elements and the four archangels, or whatever you relate that to. You can replace the archangels with the elemental kings in this regard. But There was actually something that came to mind recently. It was just a passing image that I was given by four spirits that I am being told I need to work with at the moment. I mentioned it before. It's the four queens to sacred prostitution, and it was actually an image of. It was those four spheroids, and then what happened is it turned onto a horizontal plane, which meant that Malkut was down at the bottom. So I'm just trying to remember the image, which meant that you were in the center, and then this created the axis mundi. And above that was obviously the arch, because that then passes through to. Oh wait, you've got the other two. Covenstead and Gavura first. Yeah, that's where things got a bit confusing. But I didn't carry on with the thought process, and it'll come up again because I've got to get through this other stuff, and then I'll get back to working with that. But that seemed quite interesting. You know, taking those four Yesod, Tiferet, Hod, Netzach, depending on which way you're viewing this, and then actually putting them on a horizontal plane and moving Malkut to beneath the underworld. You're in the center, but then that creates the axis mundi. That's. I mean, don't think I'm talking Kabbalah now. This is completely removed from Kabbalah. Something completely additional and extra. Dr. Zero. I'm just gonna say Dr. Zero. Hello. How are you doing? DK. Paimon is my favourite of the four kings. Oh, you're talking about those kings as well. Yeah, I mean, there's so many kings related to the directions. He actually initiated me into the cult. That's cool. Yeah. But this is what, you know, when we're talking about the kings, and if we're referring to them as the elemental kings, and even in regards to that with I've run names now: Paimon, Egan, Orients, and Maimon. In that regard, I think we're not actually talking about the elemental kings in the same reference as them being the watchtowers and the archangels and the four elemental demonic kings, etc., etc., etc. I think they're actually something different. They're considered or referred to as being the kings of the directions. But there's never any mention of them, as far as I know, of them being the kings of the elements or the elemental kings, which I think then becomes something different. I could be wrong. I don't know what I think. Yeah, I don't actually work with those kings myself. And then there's the other set from, is it from GV? And I can't even remember their names now, because I don't work with them. So if I work with them in the kings or the watchtowers in relation to them being the elemental kings and the watchtowers. The way I interact with them is through a watchtower, literal kind of watchtower. They stand there, and you have to get passage through the watchtower in order to go into that particular direction and realm of the underworld, of the spirit world. So I think that's very different, actually. All right, nobody's chatting yet, so at the moment. So I'm going to come back to Lumiel. That's right. Anybody know Lumiel's origin? As I said, all I can really find are like Facebook pages and websites that I've never seen before, Tumblr. I'm looking for something a bit more solid. Deleted that. The real story of angels and demons. Okay, you know the real story. Yeah, I'm not really finding anything. It's a Book of Lumiel, Archangel of Earth. It does seem to keep coming back to a relationship with, firstly, the name is kind of signifies some kind of Lightbringer aspect, Promethean aspect, and then the Archangel of Earth, which then people are relating to Adonis, Baphomet, Pan, that's earthly, chthonic type energy. Yeah, I'm not feeling it. Let's put it that way. I keep coming back to the idea that this is just was created by somebody. I'm trying to find a break connection. I don't know. Is this 9 Inch Nails? Yes, it is. Yes, only. The song is called Only. I read something cool about the Four Kings and what their association with in JKS True Grimoire. Said, oops, right, my mouse is popping around. I need to read Geosophia. I started reading part 1, or volume 1, and got distracted with something else again, like I usually do. But I need to really get down and read those. I'm going to actually do that. It's going to be a project. I'm going to make it a project. Read Geosophia, Volume 1 and Volume 2. Proper study, because they are excellent books. Seeing that you're bringing up that book, I should have it, I think. Why is the folder empty? Shouldn't be empty. Somebody stole all my books. What the bloody hell? Right, I just down here. Sorry, if anybody's asking questions, I will be back with you in a minute. Just trying to find something. This must be the weirdest live stream anybody's ever been on. Here we go. Alright, I found that. Come back to the thing. What's the message got messed up? Yeah, this bloody YouTube. What's just that? Let's just do a search. The king. Oh, it's going to take a while. Oh my god, 21 results. Location. These 4 kings of Oriental, who appear with various names. Oh shit, no, we're back there. Oh, there is this. An important form of the Key of Solomon that given by Abognazar calls the 4 kings princes of the spirits of the 4 seasons, namely Arians, perhaps spirits of the higher air or salamanders, sylphs, nymphs, and undines, and the pygmies, gnomes or dwarves. The names of the kings are Moimon, Boal, Paimon, Egan. Yeah, that just changes slightly. Although you've got Aryans, which relates to Orions. Oh, he also goes on to say Bog Nazar's attribution is a little muddled, but very close to Agrippa, who gives East and Fire to Oriens. Good thing, because Oriens means East. Air and West to Paimon, Water and North to Egan, and Earth and South to Maimon. Yeah, so that comes back to the four that I mentioned elsewhere. See, Moimon is usually related to a Maimon. Paimon is Paimon, Egan is Egan, or the other name is oh, I've forgotten the name now. I did these recently in Demon of the Week, but anyway. And Boel, I can't remember what that relates to now. Which one? See what you said. Sun in Aries, East Fire, Salamanders, Orient, Sun in Capricorn, South Earth, Gnomes, yeah, a main one, Sun in Libra equals West Air, South, Amon, Sun in Cancer equals North, Water, Undines, Ariton, that's the name, aka Egan, yeah. Love the music. Oh yeah, I love the music. Who is this now? Oh, this is KMFDM. I don't listen to these guys too often. Oh my god, I spammed so much, sorry. Why did you spam? Where did you spam? I didn't see any spamming. Don't worry, no spamming. It's actually interesting, you know, because we kind of... A lot of people come into Magic, especially if their introduction is in like Neo-Wicca, Neo-Paganism. And it's... let me just... I just need to lift this a bit. What is everything going? Come back. Okay, go over there. They come into Magic, and the immediate impression is that areas in the east. What? Wait, I'm in the southern hemisphere. I need to be northern hemisphere now. Areas in the east, fires in the south, water's in the west, earth is in the north, right? And then all of a sudden, some idiot like me comes along and says, you can place a fire in the east, and air in the south, and earth in the north. And then you've got something like this that says, wait, what did you put here? Sun in Aries, east fire, salamanders. Yeah, so east is fire, south is earth, west is air, so that moves water, and north is water. That's completely different again. And then you get somebody like, I spoke about this when I was doing the review of Gershon Winkler's book, Magic of the Ordinary, and one thing that he mentions in there is that you have the elements and the archangels, and depending on what work you're doing, you may have the elements placed in a particular position, but then what you do is you kind of twist the archangels to go click into different positions, and then you have combinations of elements. So it gets very interesting based on the grip of. Oh yeah. I vaguely remember that association with the gripper. It just becomes so interesting, you know, that it's not a fixed system. Even if you are doing ceremonial magic, quite often they're going to change things depending on what work they're doing. You know, if you kind of go into the Ariton, the hexagram rituals, the placement of elements tends to get changed and mixed up, and it's definitely not fixed in that one position. And I think a lot of people have that impression, and then they get very upset when you tell them that the elements are in different places. So, you know, I'm actually busy reading through Agrippa again, which I need to pick up again because I've slacked off again. I read Agrippa years ago, and this is before we had like Tyson's translation and stuff, which are absolutely brilliant now. So yeah, I'm having to read through Agrippa again just to figure it all out. But Andrea, sorry for just lurking. Last night's egg tart has left me quite poorly. That's fine, Andrea, don't worry. We'll all send you healing energy, okay? Some hangover remedy. Magical hangover remedy. Right. Has everybody gone to sleep now? It's going very quiet again. Let's check everything up. If anybody's interested in who this is, it's a band called Download. They keep popping up. And they've got some pretty interesting stuff actually. People. I think the Wiccan Elemental placement is based on Levi, but I prefer placements of a gripper I mentioned above. Yeah, but as I said, I mean, even then it doesn't need to be fixed. It shouldn't be fixed, actually. It depends on the work you're actually doing. You know, shift things around. Take the kings themselves, move them around, but keep the elements in position. And then you're combining elements for different work. And you can then walk the actual compass itself with these different combinations and go through the process of, you know, the cycle of the work you're actually doing. Loads and loads and loads of things you can do with just shifting things around within a compass or a circle. Andrea, thank you, it's a pleasure. Yeah, nothing is set in stone in cult. No, and I think that's the problem. A lot of people think, you know, things are set in stone. Goodness me, no, absolutely not. Yolandi, that's Andrea. Best thing for hangover is a greasy breakfast. Oh yeah. I do like a greasy breakfast. I don't get hangovers anymore. I kind of I do, and I sober up within 5 minutes. And then I get a teeny tiny hangover. So then you drink more. Carry on. I'll start experimenting more in the future. It's fun to experiment with. And it also, I actually have different placements depending on kind of which tradition I'm working with at the time. If it's more like a ceremonial approach to the work I'm doing, then I'll probably put them, you know, the normal ceremonial placements, probably Levi. But then if I'm working more traditional witchcraft and working with the elements, don't always work with the elements in tradcraft. It's not a big thing in there. But then I'll place like fire in the east because that's the rising sun, and then I'll place earth in the. For me, it's the south, in the north, because I'm in the southern hemisphere. And that's the midsummer. It's when the earth is flourishing. So you put the earth aspect there. It's the position of the young puck and things like that. And then round to water in the west. That's the watery divide that you cross when you die, and then round to air in the opposite to earth. And that's the coldest position. It's the place, the spiral castle, and the ancestors, and things like that, and then rebirth back into the raising the morning sun in the sky. So different systems need different placements, and even then you might want to move it around. Quite often I like to work with Earth in the south because, for me, in the southern hemisphere, it feels right to go to the oh no, what's the name? The southern star, not the northern star that you guys have got. It's called something Australis. Brain's gone again. Sorry, but it feels right for me to go in that direction, to go south in order to go into the earth, down to the underworld, through into the sonic places, and work with the ancestors. So I like placing earth there. Again, all depends on work, tradition, culture, etc, etc, etc. Yolandi, best thing to do to avoid a hangover is drink or eat something that's high in sugar before you go to sleep. Take painkillers. Watch magic. And thank you, Yolandi, for your my friend. DK, yeah, you're right. If a system has simple rules like that, it's better to follow them. It is. I mean, obviously, when when you go getting into a new system, you're learning a new tradition. You have to follow the system to learn it, to get to know it. So yeah, there is that. And you have a lot of experience in the area. Yes, usually drink plenty of fruit juice before bedtime, but last night I didn't have enough time. Try something like a Mars bar. Mars bar. Ooh, okay. I'll eat Mars bar anyway, whether I've got a hangover or not. Right. Right, how are we doing with... So I've just gone to the live screen and it's telling me that I'm still on the start screen. The preview screen before I even start talking. I don't know what's going on there. But, forget about that, that obviously doesn't work. That's Landy and Andrea talking about hangovers and how to drink properly. Very important discussion. Still not. Oh, wait. Oh, there is mention of Lumiel is a Semitic name meaning basically the question of God. An indication of questioning the mystery of secrets behind. Please hold or website loads. Lumiel. Lama, Luma, Lamas, Lamashu, Lamiel. This is starting to relate to Sumerian wind demons. Okay. That looks probably the best place to actually check. Alright, gonna go there. Sorry. Let me just go over here so I'm not bright and sparkling. Sorry. No, don't be sorry. This is the Covenstead. If you guys want to talk amongst yourselves, then do. It's, go and sit in the background. Go and sit in the corner and go and have a chat. Ooh, maybe we should actually try that. I don't know how we do that. Oh, we can do it on... no, can't do it on that. I was going to say you can probably do it on Zoom where you can put people into rooms. But that's a nightmare to control. Should have actually called this the tavern. Now we'll have a drink as well. Oh, you see, there's something else about Lumiel here. On the website, Alda Linsurium Wicca Godneriana. Okay. Yeah, we're not going to go there. Anybody got any other questions? Things they want to talk about? Otherwise, we will just put it a day and come back next week. I can't remember who asked about Lumiel now. Yeah, I'm still trying to find information here. The main 7 masters are Barakiel, Lumiel, Shemeshiel, Tamiliel, Deael, Kael, considering it should be Jewish. Acharayel. Apart from Barakiel. Barakiel is one of the fallen angels, said to be the fallen angels with Shemyaza and Azazel and all of them. I'm not sure how that fits in. Maybe I should try that. Andrea, I'm not tech savvy enough to do. But we'll stick to this then. It's easier. But no, if you want to, do you guys want to have a chat by yourself? Go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. As I said, it's the Covenstead. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Keyboard's hot. I'm looking for Grimoire. Grimoire names. No, not the list of grimoires. What else were they called? What were the grimoire called? The watches. Watches. Okay. Go over here. Like I said, this is probably the strangest live people will have. Because I go do research over here in the background. Which is probably why it's better if you guys make yourselves over. I'm looking at the watches. I cannot find Lumiel. So it doesn't seem to have a connection there. Lumiel. No, nothing on the page. I don't know. DK, love this song. Oh yeah, I love Marilyn Manson. Brilliant. Thank you, Atlee and at Yolandi. Pleasure. Okay. We're going to give up the Lumiel version for now. I was going to say Luminol, which I think is a cleaning product. Let's take away and let's close that. There we go. All done. Alright, it's gone very quiet. Everybody, I think, has gone either to sleep or it's just early enough for me talking. So, let's come back next week and have more chats. And I will see everybody then. Hope everybody has a fantastic week. It's not quite Christmas yet, is it? No. I don't celebrate Christmas really myself. I'm going to go into family for Christmas. They do. I just emailed you the manuscript. Oh, thanks very much. I will definitely have a look at that. Very interesting. Alright. It's very bright. Hold on. There we go. Thanks everybody. Thanks for joining. Thanks for the chat. And I'll see you next week. Cheers. Bye-bye. Press the right buttons. Hold on. There we go.